Fallacies are the use of invalid or defective reasoning when building up an argument. Fallacious arguments can be misleading because it is based on wrong moves. Today we'll be talking about inductive and deductive reasoning. Our audience on purpose is to know when and how to use inductive and deductive reasoning. These fallacies can be used in many different situations, like cases in courts, providing a point, and trying to solve disputes. When it comes to reasoning, there are two main ways of doing it: inductive reasoning and deductive reasoning. Inductive reasoning starts with a small observation forming a pattern or trend, then works its way by examining the related issue. This uses a bottom-up approach. It starts with facts and gradually forms a conclusion. Deductive reasoning uses a top-down approach. It starts with a general statement, theory, or hypothesis which does not have to be true, then makes its way into being a logical conclusion. Thus, in conclusions, you restate your idea. Inductive and deductive reasoning can be objectionable at times. People try their best to provide evidence to support their statements and argue their way to victory, but this can lead to offensive comments and unpleasant accusations. For example, there have been many earthquakes that have destroyed pieces of the earth. Therefore, the end of the world will be tomorrow. This is an inductive reason which can be faulty because an observation was made based on facts and formed a conclusion that the end is very near. Parents work hard to send their kids to school, therefore all students are dedicated. This statement is an example of deductive reasoning because a general statement is present which made its way into a logical conclusion. When using inductive and deductive reasoning on the Guatemalan and Belizean dispute, we see two different points of view. For example, when using inductive reasoning, Belize has enough evidence to hypothesize and prove that Guatemala does not own their land and is subjected to the border recognition which they established long ago. This is an example of inductive reasoning because it started with a small observation which then formed a pattern which gradually formed a conclusion. When deductive reasoning is present, an example would be Guatemalans claim that they did not recognize the borders properly between them and Belizeans want to take this matter to the ICJ. However, without the right evidence, they hold a faulty statement which can cause a downfall on their argument. This is an example of deductive reasoning because it started with a general statement which then made its way into a logical conclusion. To go a little more in depth, Guatemalans have been claiming our country of Belize over a long period of time. It has been ignoring the 1859 treaty and has been illegally damaging our land. Due to this situation, it has been proposed to take the dispute to the International Court of Justice in order to settle the situation legally. All Belizeans over the age of 18 are able to vote once registered and choose to their consent, yes or no, to go to the ICJ. With the use of inductive and deductive reasoning, both countries can compete to try and obtain victory for their country's benefits. If you might not have known, a referendum is a general vote established by electorates on a single political question. To go on, the ICJ is the International Court of Justice. This is the principal judicial organ of the United Nations, established in June 1945 by the Charter of the United Nations, which began working in April 1946.
Here in the midst of war, the world's people collaborated in the drafting of a workable international constitution. It was a conference to write a people's charter, opening with the words, "We, the people of the United Nations, determined to save succeeding generations from the scourge of war, which twice in our lifetime has brought untold sorrow to mankind."
What is etymology? Etymology comes from the Greek word etymos, which means real or true, Etymology is the study of the origin of words and how they have evolved. For instance, in the word referendum, referere originated from Latin, then the English borrowed the word and made it refer, and also established the word referendum in the mid-19th century. This concludes our video. Thank you for your time.